see me now at all?
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3.
by thanking everybody for being here, but more important than that, I want to thank the governors of the United States of America who are standing with Texas. Half of the governors of the United States have joined with Texas in our cause to make sure states can do everything possible to secure our border. For the governors that have joined send a loud and clear message that we are banding together to fight to ensure that we will be able to maintain our constitutional guarantee that states will be able to defend against any type of imminent danger or invasion. Enforce the immigration laws of the United States of America. The laws of the United States passed by Congress, they require if somebody makes it across the border illegally, the president has the responsibility imposed by Congress to detain any illegal immigrant who has come here, as opposed to to accurately determine their whereabouts or what they may be doing. Because of this, we've seen the catastrophic consequences of Joe Biden's open border policy. On records, and we see the dangers every single day. Just to recount a few that happened just this past year. The Texas Department of Public Safety, they arrested an MS-13 gang member who was on the terrorist watch list. Know this, there are people on the terrorist watch list that are apprehended all the time coming across the border. These are people who pay extra money not to be caught. The United States of America and the President do not know how many people have crossed the border illegally who Another example is, once again, the Texas Department of Public Safety. They arrested somebody who came across the border illegally who had served in the army, in the military, for Iran. Why is this person here? Why were they trying to sneak in illegally? What the deadly loss of life? We saw it just outside of the Houston area last year, when we saw an illegal immigrant who had come across the border illegally 4 times murder 5 people outside of Houston, Texas. These are crimes that don't happen now and then. These are crimes that happen all the time. Part of it is because, as set forth by the Texas Department of Public Safety, we have people who are coming across our border who were released from prison in other countries. There was a person who was apprehended who was wanted for rape charges, another who was wanted for murder charges. There's extraordinary danger, imminent danger, crossing our border all the time. And of course, Americans are not going to soon forget what they saw happen in New York City, where we saw illegal immigrants brutalize and beat up police officers in New York City, only to be immediately released on bail back out on the streets, causing no one knows what level of mayhem. Because of the extraordinary dangers that the state of Texas is sustaining, as well as states across the country. And because Joe Biden has completely abdicated and abandoned his responsibility to enforce the laws of the United States, I have used a clause in the Constitution that empowers states to defend themselves. It's Article 1, Section 2. Their safety from the imminent danger that we are facing and from an invasion of millions of people coming from across the globe into our country who are unaccounted for whatsoever. And I applaud and thank the members of in this effort. We're all fighting for a safer, more secure border and country, and I thank them for all they do. Has always been here for the great state of Texas.
Have had hundreds of troops on the border. We are prepared even today to send additional troops working. Governor Abbott, who has done everything within his power to provide an improvement to the situation at the border, to provide safety and security for Texans, for Americans, and the federal government has failed. Our job, which is the job that the federal government has failed to do, and that is to protect this country. Each one of us understand the devastating effects that the border policy in an open border policy has catastrophically failed America. And this country is in desperate need of leadership as it relates to this issue. Governor Abbott has had unwavering and shown unwavering leadership, and we stand in support of that leadership, each of us today.
Country less safe, and that's what we're here documenting today and standing with Governor Abbott that's trying to do something about that. We just had a great briefing. There's been 169 people in 2023 that were on the GBI terrorist watch list apprehended. How many of those are in our country that we didn't, or Governor Abbott's people didn't apprehend? 458 million lethal doses of fentanyl that have been detained at this border. Think about the doses that were not. Every governor's dealing with that. And that is why we are standing here as governors, making sure that that gets done. Every state in the country is depending on Joe Biden acting. And if he does not, then we will continue to do so, and we stand with Governor Abbott and what he is. Now my honor to
I think by the strong showing and the sheer number of governors that are stepping up across the country, it's very clear that this is not just a fight that Texas is having. This is a fight that all of us have to engage in. Put very simply, Joe Biden every single person knows he could make changes and steps right now today to help secure those that are standing next to and behind me. Because of them, our country will be safer, our people will be better protected. And we don't stand with them in football, but I can tell you that Arkansas is most definitely standing with the state of Texas when it comes to protecting our border. There is no fight right now that is more important for us to engage in. It's why we're spending our Sunday afternoons here, because we have to, because it is absolutely vital to the long-term safety and security of our country. I'm proud of Governor Abbott's leadership, and I'm proud that I get to stand with each of these incredible people as we pledge to support Texas in whatever we can do to help. Arkansas sent National Guard troops here last year, and I can commit today that we'll continue to do that over the course of this year as much as we can and as much as is needed until
The governors here have repeatedly called on the Biden administration to step up and do their job. Most recently, in a joint letter, we asked for the names and identities of people that have crossed illegally into this country. That request was met with silence. It came on top of a letter that shared a 10-point plan to secure the border. That was 3 years ago. We're still waiting for a response from the White House. Montana has had our soldiers here on the southern border for most of last year. And Governor Abbott, we're committed to stand with you and continue to provide resources so that we can protect the citizens of the United States and our country. This is impacting all of our states. In the northern Rockies, where I call home, we've seen a 78% increase in fentanyl just in the last year, and we've lost lives, and it's broken families apart. We need to secure the border. Our states are being invaded by the people crossing illegally. Our Constitution gives the states the right to self-defense. That's what Governor Abbott's doing, and that's why we're here standing with him today. Biden is doing the exact opposite. He's working against the interests of this country, and we are here today to call on him, the federal administration, to do their job. Thank you for calling attention to this issue, and Governor Abbott, thank you.
And 100 miles of razor wire barrier that serves effectively to deny illegal entry. And they have ensured that this entire park that we are in right now will not be an area that can be used to pass anymore. This area we are in right now was at one time not too long ago an area where there would be 3,000, 4,000, sometimes 5,000 people crossing illegally. Now that we've taken control of this area, for the past 3 days, there's an average of only 3 people crossing illegally in this area. The point very simply is this. It shows that the state of Texas can do what the federal government is charged to do and has the tools and equipment to do. The president is obligated by laws passed by Congress to actually secure the border and deny illegal entry. Texas has shown that we can reduce it to 3 people. Joe Biden is Let's be clear. Let's be clear about something. Don't fool anybody. We know that the people who control the migration across the border are the cartels. The cartels who extort money, who rape the people that they victimize before they come across here. The cartels are losing money trying to come into the state of Texas now. The cartels have rerouted their routes to cross the border because Texas is the only state that's putting up any resistance, despite the fact that Texas represents more than 60% of the land miles of the border. The overwhelming majority now of people crossing the border are crossing in Arizona and California, 2 states that are putting up no resistance to illegal immigration. If the United States, under President to this moment, they have access to the boat ramp and they have access to the razor wire area if anybody's life is in danger. On top of that, however, the area where we are is an area where the federal government was using to further criminal activity. They're involved in violating the federal laws of the United States of America on this land. We will not allow this land to be used for illegal purposes.
Priscilla Thompson with NBC News. The Senate is poised to vote on an immigration bill this week. Do you think that could help you?
So I have no idea how to answer your question because I have no idea. I have no idea. Up and do his job and secure the border.
Governor, you're standing in front of a lot of armed men and women. You're here with us governors from many states and military vehicles. You talked about invasion. What do you say to people, we've heard this from Republicans and Democrats, who are concerned that there's
enforced. All we're doing is enforcing the laws of the United States of America.
Governor, how long will the park be under state control?
It's going to stay under control as long as it takes to maintain security and to eliminate crossings. I'll be honest with you. We could relinquish control of it tomorrow if Joe Biden were to step up and do exactly what we're doing here and stop people from crossing the border illegally. We have seen a president in his
Governor, for you and for all the other governors here, you guys have, a lot of people have said that this is, things like this in an election year are just a political stunt by Republicans. What do you guys all say to that?
Say that to the average American. The average American is angry. Regardless of when elections take place, we as governors have that responsibility.
Writing letters to Joe Biden about how to fix the border, the executive action that he could take. So this is not a campaign tactic. This is something that this group and the Republican governors have been concerned with for many, many months and years.
Right.
Governor, there are Americans living here on the border who say that the sovereignty has been lost and that they're walking around in fear. They feel that the federal government has failed them. What about you, governors? Are you going to be able to step up to protect their sovereignty and give them the right to be free citizens here in their own state?
And you're talking about the local residents in this area?
Yes.
So, first of all, I think the local residents that are taking place in neighborhoods. This has turned into a danger zone for one reason. It was not that way 4 years ago. 4 years ago, this was an area of law and order, a safe area for people